I gotta wait? How long I gotta wait for a press record?
Go.
Welcome to the shed, where Miss Dream always has a story.
It's Dream, and we got a season 2. Your Black Bostonian here, a product of a single mother who I work to make proud every single day. I'm a 3-degree holder, your veteran educator, your tech entrepreneur, and founder of the Chair platform. My platform is dedicated to supporting Black and Brown people on their hair journey by creating hair boards, connecting to hairstylists, and sharing haircare tips for a more joyous experience. My podcast is about sharing hair stories, educator stories, entrepreneurship stories, and stories surrounding identity with goals to leave you laughing, learning, and advocating. So come in and listen to the stories in the chair.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Brittany McCray. Brittany, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Brittany McCray. I am a Chicago real estate agent specializing in Chicago and the greater Chicagoland area, servicing buyers, sellers, and renters alike.
Brittany and I met in college at Lake Forest, and Brittany is a year younger than me, and the most intense memory I have of you is there was a bunch of Black women. We were together, and we were on South Campus, and we were getting into this really big discussion about Beyonce. And
Oh,
yeah, and you went on this long rant about Beyonce's hairography and the intensity of lace wigs, and I was like, wow,
oh my gosh.
this is important. After that, I
Yeah.
looked it up online. I went down this whole rabbit hole, and then I was like,
That is so crazy.
yes, this is a real moment. It led into all these other conversations about Black women and representation. It's so clear because of the intensity of how hair and representation were talked about in that conversation with all of us. And that's like my core memory of you. But since then, I've just been watching you flourish, doing all types of things on Facebook. And it's been really amazing being able to be like, wow, I know her. And then when you threw your seminar and your get together, it's like, damn, I really wish I was living in Chicago right now to be able to go.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, one of these days I'm gonna be able to be there. So I truly appreciate you taking the time out to be on my podcast.
That's so funny that you mentioned that was your most fond memory, because I'm literally going to the Beyonce concert tomorrow and I'm literally talking about wigs with my friends. And lace fronts and all the things. So that definitely that story checks out. I've always been a fan of hair, and I actually made my first wig in college. I've only gotten better, but yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I'm so excited to get into that.
Yes.
So before us getting into all the conversations about hair, I'm really curious to know, did you ever plan to end up in real estate as an entrepreneur?
No, I did not. I had no knowledge of real estate. My mom has always owned, but I never understood the power of it, the ins and outs of it, or any aspect of it. In fact, I was following this girl on Instagram and working in aviation, and one day she posted that she was taking continued education courses for real estate. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was a thing. And it was in the back of my head. This was maybe 4.5 years ago. And this is in the back of my head. And then one day I randomly got the urge to just get my license. And it is the easiest thing to do. I really didn't, even at that point of getting my license, I was not too far ahead of where I was at the time. I wasn't understanding the full picture. I paid whatever, the $300 to take the 2-week course, got my license in 2 weeks. And that's always when people are asking about how you get into it, I'm like, it's actually unfortunately way too simple to become a real estate agent. But your business only thrives as much as you do. And once I got into the door of real estate and like I was encapsulated with how much knowledge there is and how far you can go and how much you can really grow as a realtor. And that's one of the things that I learned to love and appreciate about it. But there was never like a catalyst for like a real like indicator of me entering into real estate. I got into it and then I fell in love with it. And it's been a journey I've been on for the last 4 years. And I'm really happy in the field. So that's kind of how I started.
So, what about real estate has you so enthralled?
I like that there's no cap. There is no max on how much you can make, how much you can learn, how many people you can service, what field you're in, whether you're on the finance side, whether you're on the purchase side, whether you're on the sales side. Like there are so many ins and outs of real estate. And I think it's such an understated like part of the industry as a whole because it's such a big industry. And I just love like learning and learning. And like I think learning is the most exciting thing for me. Like the knowledge is limitless. Like the way you can be creative is endless. And I like that there's no ceiling.
That's how I feel about education. When I'm teaching,
Oh.
there are so many millions of teachers everywhere. And everybody can be given the same book, same lesson, same group of kids. But because everybody is so different, that lesson will always come out differently. The stories you use to relay that information to the kids will always come out different.
Yeah.
And for me, there's something really magical about that.
Yeah.
That every time I step into a classroom, I'm reminded why I love it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's endless. I like that.
So, do you remember the first house you sold?
Yes. And we're still friends today. It's like it was an Irving Park condo. And I had no clue what I was doing. And I told her that. She was like, okay, like I really want to work with you. So that's fine. I was like, oh. I remember like hand drawing my sold sign like with markers on a blackboard. I remember setting up like my tripod for all my pictures and taking them myself. Yeah, I remember the first house. It was a learning experience for sure, but yeah, it was very rewarding.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Look, it's my commercial. We will be right back.
It's more than just a bad hair day. It's a journey. Finding the right hairstyle isn't easy, nor is finding the right stylist or the right products. Looking in every corner of the web gets messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. All the ads, the articles, the products, the videos, it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And now, it isn't. The Chair. A black and brown centered platform where you can design hair boards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a new joyful path on your hair journey. Avoid the clutter, save yourself hours, months, and even years of research and poor trial and error. Everything you need and only what you need is in one place. Hair boards made by people like you, for you. Find the right products, the right people, the right answers for you, stress-free. Join the Chair community and make every day a great hair day. When you share your pain, you allow others to help you. And when you share your success, you help others get theirs. Lean on the Chair. We got you.
No stress, no strife. In the chair. The chair. The chair. All right.
Oh, and if you're interested to learn more about my experiences as a Black woman and educator in Guangzhou, China, I wrote my first ebook titled Nowhere and Everywhere, Capture the Emotions of a Beautifully Broken Love Story. It is on lulu.com. take a read and see some beautiful photography of mine. Enjoy the rest of the show.
The chair.
Because you have this ability to just continue learning, is
Yeah.
there ways that you don't get overwhelmed because there's so much information in real estate?
I am learning to not get overwhelmed by the information um, that you can acquire in real estate and apply what I know gradually. But there are instances where you are overwhelmed because outside of like actually selling real estate, I have a mentorship that I'm a part of as well, and we learn often. Um, and my mentor, like she pours so much information that it can be overwhelming even coming from her, and she's incredible. But I'm learning to kind of like balance out like being overwhelmed and just taking it with a grain of salt and moving along. So there I feel like in life, like in real life, like balance does not exist. Like if you're excelling in one area, you're failing somewhere else. And that's okay. But for me, like knowledge trumps anything else because that's information that I could give off to the people who I work with and just become a better resource.
Mm.
So yeah.
In your field of real estate, do you believe that your identities have affected the path that you've taken so far?
My identity is what do you mean by my identity?
Yeah. So when I was a student, when I was in middle school, I had a very, very hard time in middle school. Not academically. Academically, it was great. I was flourishing, but I was
Yeah.
I was a transfer kid. I went to an all girls middle school,
Mm-hmm.
and making friendships was difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
Working in all girls spaces, it was all very new. And so when I started teaching, and you have to teach in all these different grades to have the spectrum, but I fell in love with teaching middle school, even though I had a terrible middle school experience. And it's because I know it so well that I am dedicated to getting kids to feel loved, feel seen, and feel valued in middle school. So for me, my middle school teaching identity directly connects to my student middle school identity. And so I wonder,
Okay.
when it comes to real estate, do you think about yourself as a Black woman? Do you think about yourself as someone who is just younger in the field? Someone who jumped into this field who didn't come from a background of real estate? Do you think about those identities and the way you've decided to move in the field?
I'll be honest. I have like unlearned like taking on these different identities because I've learned that these identities, while they are on the external, like people have their perceptions because of them, I don't have to internalize what these things mean to other people.
Yep.
And I don't have to perform with that title. I think for me, I'm just truly myself. I think there are like occasions where I'm like, okay, like, yeah, you're young, yeah, you're new, yeah, you're Black, but I don't think it's impacted the decisions that I've made. If anything, like I'm empowered because of my identities, but I wouldn't say like when I enter into a certain room or a certain environment that I'm like often considering that, oh, you're a young Black woman. I never think that I don't belong somewhere or that like, or even like take for granted places that I do belong. I'm just experiencing life as a whole. And again, like unlearning caring about people's expectations of me based on whatever identity may stand out the most at any given time. So I don't think, I wouldn't say that it does. I think I'm just Brittany, you know, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, I completely understand that. When you come into the space with meeting new people in real estate or people who are just starting, what advice do you have for them?
Follow up, be consistent. I think for me, the biggest thing I tell anybody is showing up is the most rewarding thing that you can do in life. And like showing up means doing it especially when you don't want to. And showing up, especially when it doesn't make sense, but it is the thing to do, pays off more than anything you could ever do, more than any mentorship, more than anything. Like just showing up for yourself and your business, like really does pay off. So that's the number one thing that I tell people is just show up and be consistent.
Help me understand.
Mhm.
Showing up for yourself means giving yourself
I
credit.
think for me, it's multifold, but I'll give you like two examples. Like for starters, the gym, I show up. Like I go to the gym, rain, snow, sunny, thick, tired, super energetic. It does not matter. And because of that, I've learned that my discipline has outweighed my emotions drastically. Like, especially on the days that I don't want to go, I cannot have a sound mind and not go. I have to sometimes like remind myself, okay, you're not going today. It's okay to rest. And like make myself like be okay with that.
Mm.
And in real estate, showing up for my clients, for showings that I may not want to go to, doing the work that takes a few hours that I could find a shortcut and just not deliver. But then when I realize that I practice doing quality work, I'm always going to deliver quality work. So the way you show up sometimes is the way you're going to show up all the time. Whatever is a habit for you is a way that is going to be the trail that you're creating for your life. So for me, like showing up for yourself is top priority, but then that allows you to show up for the people who you service in your business.
Mm. I like
And
that.
it's not easy. Like in the beginning, like people think it's easy after you've worked so hard and you cried and like you're exhausted. And you're like, oh, it's so easy because you do make it look easy, but it's not easy at all. When you actually want to like do quality work and lead a quality life, showing up is the hardest, most rewarding thing that you could do for yourself because you do have to get over those hurdles of not wanting to in your emotions.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Well, Brittany, thank you so
Mhm.
much for sitting in the chair. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me. And again, I'm happy we finally got to do this. And I'm really excited to see your podcast grow and hear about other people's hair journeys from their different perspectives and experiences. This is a great thing you're doing.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dream always has a story.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Chair. I'm going to share with you a dream of mine. I would love to be on Sesame Street. Sesame Street held my hand through childhood. In my dream, I would be in my big afro or rainbow braids sitting on the stoop sharing hair stories. I would like your help, please, by doing all the things like leave a review, share it with someone who would benefit from hearing this episode. And if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone at Sesame Street, share your favorite episode with them and I'll make you some of my famous chocolatey hot chocolate. I hope you have a beautiful day, or if you are like me, still up in the middle of the night, I hope you take a deep breath and rest. Love you. Talk to you later.
The chair.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Dream, hello. I just wanted to tell you you're wonderful. I just got through going through your podcast. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Keep it up. Maybe I need to send it to Oprah and Tyler Perry. Love you, baby. You are great.
Where we share stories in the chair.